Good.
Oh boy, this shit is gonna be bad. Oh lord, I remember how bad I didn't like this album.
You mean the first one or both?
I like one of them more than the other one.
Same. But we'll talk about it.
Oh, Lord, mm-mm-mm. It hasn't changed.
Hope you're not gonna piss out the MF Doom fan base.
Yeah, half of them niggas wasn't even born when this shit came out, so they'll be alright.
What's up, Christian? Thanks for the request.
Christian, this was your request.
Yes, sir.
Oh God, why you didn't give us a good album to talk about? Man,
I thought you liked this album.
not this one.
Hey, question.
Hmm?
Aren't they streaming Dreamville on Prime Video and stuff like that this year?
Are
Oh, I thought they were doing that this year. If not,
No,
never mind.
they never streamed it. I never saw it. I think they streamed it on Title like years ago.
Nah, they streamed it on Prime last year.
I didn't see it. And Prime they don't advertise for them for those concerts.
Uh,
You know, if they did, I totally missed it. I didn't see nothing about it last year on there.
she said it's streaming. Okay, bad.
I ain't watching the Good Times show, so they didn't need an animated show. If you're gonna do an animated show, have the real voices from the show on the animated show. That would make more sense.
I wonder how the theme song's gonna sound like.
Not that they don't have it. They could have put any title on that shit. It could have been called Baby's Kids or something.
We don't die, we multiply.
That's X-Men '97. That's the animation I'm watching right now.
Dope. Q said, what do you think about the J. Cole response? I thought it was decent. You know what I'm saying? Not really what I expected, but it was decent. Hopefully they won't make a cartoon about on different strokes. Oh God.
No, it's not needed. Arnold already had a cartoon anyway, so
Right, a Gary Coleman show.
yeah.
Didn't he play like an angel or some
Yeah,
shit?
yeah. He played an angel. It was on
Yeah.
NBC Saturday morning.
NBC was just making bank off Gary Coleman.
Yeah, they were making all kind of shit, yo.
God,
Anybody that was a pop culture figure, they're like, yes, let's give them a cartoon.
that's special.
You know, Mr. T had his own cartoon at one point.
Oh
Yo,
Lord. What's up, Mike?
So,
Like was good. Mike, you like KMD?
never heard of them, but I'm just here for entertainment purposes.
Oh, about to say, oh, like you don't listen to KMD? Why the fuck are you on here?
Yeah, no, I'm just here for the entertainment.
Oh
Yeah, I
man,
didn't
you ready for WrestleMania?
Oh my God,
That's what I
yes,
care about right now. That's the only thing I
yeah,
want to talk about.
same.
The fuck, the hell with the KMD albums. You know,
Yeah, I can't wait.
yes.
I saw I saw clips of SmackDown.
Oh my god, that was good.
Oh my God, yeah,
Now that
I'm
ending, that the ending on SmackDown should have been the ending for Monday Night Raw.
right. I agree.
They screwed that up.
Yep, they sure did.
That was great. And I saw like a clip of like the Hall of Fame ceremony. They the Rock's mom gave him a new belt.
Oh really?
Yeah, they gave him like the people's championship title.
Oh wow.
So that nigga gonna be coming in tomorrow with that championship around his waist.
Oh Lord.
I'm like, what the fuck? Why they inducting his mom? They said his mom used to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
I never seen her. That was
yeah.
like
I
way
don't.
before we were born. I never seen her wrestle.
Yeah, yeah. That was way before our time. Shoot.
Shit, that shit gonna be lit.
Oh, I can't. I cannot wait.
Yeah. We might we might go live on IG tomorrow. Like we're gonna do like a pre-show
Yeah. Okay.
before the matches, and then like if you're available like in the afternoon, we're gonna do it, and then like after night one, we're gonna go live again on IG, and then on Sunday night.
All right. Yeah. Let me know what time in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah. Get this wrestling junkies podcast started, man.
For real.
You know,
It's about to be lit.
that's what I care about. Everybody talking about Jake. I didn't hear the J Cole beef. I don't give a damn. I'm in WrestleMania mode right now. I can kill less.
know.
Who beefing?
J Cole and Kendrick.
Oh shit.
I don't hear it.
I
I don't hear it.
I'm
I
not
don't care
into
right now. Ask me that shit next week. I'm in WrestleMania mode right now. That's what I care about.
same.
I feel like he just did this shit to promote Dreamville. To be real with you,
Right? When is that? Is that coming up?
yeah, Dreamville's this weekend.
Oh, is this week? Yeah, well, that's why then he dropped the album and then he did this song. That makes sense. So he probably gonna perform that shit at the show.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah,
He ain't slick.
he ain't fucking with Kendrick. J Cole is nice, but discography wise, Kendrick beat him. Kendrick got him.
He got more classics. Let's keep it buck.
Yeah, Kendrick got him because there's like at least 2 J Cole albums I ain't like.
My
I'm
thoughts on.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just reading what Christian asked me my thoughts on reaction and my reaction on Good Times reboot. One word for you: trash.
Yep.
Looks horrible.
Who asked for that though? Who asked for a reboot and an animation of that?
You want to know what's funny?
Mhm.
What's funny is that I'm here like I don't know if it's official, but they developing a Married with Children animation.
No.
I'm like, oh no. Oh God, no, stop.
Oh, baby.
So
Hell
Thunderbolt
no.
Patterson? That's what's up.
Especially in this day and age, hell no. And they said Seth MacFarlane and Steph Curry are behind the Good Times reboot.
I ain't watching that shit. I don't
What?
give a damn who's behind it.
Steph McFarlane of all people, really? Steph Curry, he don't need to be behind nothing
Steph
but the
Curry
net. That's
need to
it.
focus on his team making the damn playing tournament. What the fuck he's doing rebooting Good Times? Well, he wasn't even born when Good Times was out.
For real. So now back. So now basketball. So now basketball celebrities now doing all these reboots.
Yeah.
Like
Well, LeBron
LeBron.
did.
You said,
Yep.
go ahead.
I said LeBron did Space Jam too.
Oh Lord, that was bad.
Wait, what? Oh, Space Jam 2?
That was
Yeah.
garbage.
I think he produced the reboot of House Party too, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't watch it.
Yes.
That was trash. Don't even bother.
Good. I won't waste
Go back.
2 hours of my life.
Go back to playing basketball, you ass.
For real.
Now he's forcing his son to go in the draft.
Oh God.
I'm like,
Really?
who's picking him? Bronny ain't even. He could barely score 2 points. Yet alone make the NBA team right now.
Oh Lord.
Damn.
Who's picking him? Nobody's picking him.
I'm gonna start in about 4 more minutes.
That Bad Boys trailer, that looks good.
That looks good. I don't know how many more Martin could keep doing because he don't look like he's in shape.
Nah. From what I heard about Martin Lawrence, though, he took the reason why he took a hiatus, he had health issues.
He still got it.
Yeah, you do.
You can tell in his face, like his face ain't don't look normal.
Nah.
Plus, he had a stroke years ago too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, stroke.
He ain't been the same since then.
Nah.
Bad Boys 4. Let's go.
I don't know. I ain't gonna hold you. I hope that's the last one they make.
Right. Exactly. You don't need another one after that.
Nah.
They said the third one was the last one, but
It made money. That's why they did part 4.
Mm,
But just because it make money don't mean you got to go ahead and do another sequel.
for real.
so that's a Fast and Furious.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, that needs to come to an end already.
Sure do.
Yeah,
Once they went up in space, that was it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
sure.
Space.
Yeah.
Space.
Space, yeah.
They went in space. I'm like, what is this? A 2001 Space Odyssey or something? Like, what?
With a car. That don't bullshit.
For real?
Oh, man.
When are they gonna go to hell or heaven?
That's going to be for the finale.
Right.
Down taking his friends to hell.
On the way to see Paul Walker.
Wow.
Highway to hell.
Stop.
Paul Walker making a cameo.
For real.
Fucking AI shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands right quick. I'll be right back.
Yo. It's some shit out, some shitty films, man.
This year is just
How do you like Mike? Like as a collector, like how do you determine what new movies you're gonna buy on 4K?
okay, so here's the thing. Typically, okay, so I'll give you an example. Last year,
Mhm.
I went to the movies almost every single week because there was so
Wow.
much out. It
Right.
was so much out.
Yeah,
And I look at the movie and if it's that good enough for me to own and watch again, then I go out and buy it.
right.
But if it's not good, I don't bother. But
Yeah.
whenever I see or like whenever I buy movies, I always look at the trailer and the synopsis first.
Yeah.
And then if the trailer looks good enough, and in some cases I do gamble on like certain movies and stuff like that, but um if they if they turn out to be good, then of course, yeah, I took a gamble. But there's some movies that I've seen, took a gamble at it, watched the trailer, and they were bad.
I think the
So
Um,
best movie I've seen so far this year is the Bob Marley biopic.
I heard good things about it.
That's the best movie I think that's out right now.
I gotta rewatch that.
That shit is good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. The acting was great. The girl that played Rita Marley, she needs to be nominated for an Oscar, right? Even though like
Mm,
it was past the deadline, but she should have been nominated.
mm.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We'll
go.
see.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see it because I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, I'm ready to start this shit whenever y'all are.
For sure.
All right. What's up, you two? How's everyone doing? It's your boy Reg in the building. Back at you again. I got my homeboy Try with me.
Yo,
I got my homeboy Mike as a special guest tonight.
What's good?
And the album that we're going to talk about is another request from Christian. We want to talk about KMD's two albums. We're going to start off with Mr. Hood, which came out in 1991. And we're going to talk about the Black Bastards album, which was supposed to have came out in 94, but it got shelved and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, until it came out in 2000. So KMD, we briefly talked about that when we did the MF Doom discography breakdown years ago. It was pretty much MF Doom's group. He had his brother and excuse me, he had other members like Onyx, the Birthstone Kid, and who left the group after the first album. He was replaced by Jade One. You know how we always do. We're gonna talk about how he got into the group, any stories. I'm gonna start off with Try.
well, I know I heard about them from the Gasway song with Doug Bass, from the Cactus album, and then when I got Dulles a Dollar when that dropped, and they Zed was on Ace in the Hole, so that's how I know about them. Like when they came out, they wasn't even playing their video like that. You know what I'm saying? When Pete Fuzz came out, that video, and the Who Me joint, like they barely played that video on Rap City and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like amazing, like how all these Doom fans now, oh, I love KMD when they barely played their shit back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I know them from the Third Base shit, and I remember when Sub Rock passed away, he had like a bike, he got hit by a car or something on his bike, and I remember seeing the Black Bastards poster, like they were promoting for that album, and it never dropped. And then I didn't hear shit from Zed, like for a couple years, and then he reinvents himself as MF Doom. He drops Operation Doomsday, and the rest is history. Like it was like it didn't even sound like the same artist. Like he
Nah.
just went through a whole transformation. He looked different. He put on a couple pounds. He was wearing a Doom mask, and he gave us some of the best hip hop ever. And I just think, like, what if his brother never passed away? Would we even still get Doom? And that's like one of those things that they say things happen for a reason. That's like one of those things that happen that, like, damn, like, he just. I know there was, like, people saying he was grieving for his brother and he was depressed and shit, and he just put it into his music. You know what I'm saying? And just was a great producer, and his rhyme style was just dope, and that's the Zed love that I know. I know MF Doom Zed love. I don't, I didn't really fuck with KMD like that. I just felt like they were like a De La Soul knockoff,
Same.
and
we'll talk about that.
Even with this album, like you listen to the skits, this is De La Soul that you hear. It's just De La Soul with just better spitters than Zed. But I was like the fanfare that it gets. This is what I'm saying. Like so many decades then later now, it's like there's certain albums that get fanfare now that wasn't getting fanfare when it came out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, where all these KMD fans? Where the fuck was they at when this album dropped? Because I didn't see them. There was nobody. It was there. The radio wasn't bumping their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you could they barely play their video. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, they okay. I mean, I wasn't rushing to get their shit. I just felt like they were like some De La Soul knockoffs. You know, I still feel like that. Just even like playing this album again, I'm like, this album wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about that. You know, if anything, I like the Black Bastards album more, and that was the one I would show.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I love this shit. I feel like they should have did more shit with Third Base. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just dope. Like the shit they did with Pete and Search. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I wasn't really checking for them. But MF Doom definitely like Stretch and Barbito, like they definitely showed love to him. You know, you had Barbito was on the Rhymes Like Dimes joint on Operation Doomsday, and they always showed love to him. It's like especially when he was dropping like the 12-inch joints first before he dropped Operation Doomsday. And then, boy, once he dropped the album, it was like that's all we kept hearing about was Doom. And then he was doing like the underground shows out here, and it was great. Like he definitely reinvented himself and took his artistry to another level. With each project. You know what I'm saying? And I just think like I'm like damn like if Sub Rock was here now like would Zed even be doing the MF Doom thing? You know what I'm saying? And we'll never know.
One of the biggest what ifs in hip hop, honestly.
Yeah. You know. Sometimes you gotta go through shit to see shit and just switch it up and that's what he did. And like I said, like I if he was depressed and if he was grieving his brother, that's natural because that's his flesh and blood and he might have needed to take all that grief and depression and put it into his music and look what he did. He left us with before he died. He left us with many classics with different people. With he could do an album with Master Ace and it'd be fire. He do an album with Dilla and it'd be fire. You do an album with anybody. Madlib and it was just some of the best hip hop he was dropping.
Dope, dope. Mike, you have anything to say about MF Doom if you ever heard any of his music or no?
MF Doom, to be honest with you, I don't remember hearing none of their music, to be honest with you. Um, I've heard of them before, but I don't think I've heard none of their music, to be fair,
Respect,
to be honest with you.
respect. All right, so like Trash said, I've never really been a quote unquote KMD fan. I remember we actually did an MF Doom breakdown
Yeah.
years ago.
That was on Speaking Thought. We did that.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
was great.
And that was a great breakdown and shit.
Yeah.
And when I heard those KMD albums and everything like that too, I definitely could hear like the early influence, but like you mentioned, Try, I agree with you. They were definitely influenced by a lot of like native tongues,
Mhm.
most specifically De La Soul,
Yeah.
if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? And you can definitely tell by like the delivery and like the style of songs that they pick. Cause my exposure to MF Doom, of course, was like Mad Villainy,
Mhm.
Operation Doomsday, The Danger and the Doom, stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Which we have to talk about Danger to Doom one day because that's
Yes. The Mouse
very
and the Mask. Man,
yes,
that's one of my favorite projects. Man.
same, same. Yeah, so definitely want to talk about that at one point. But then, going through the discography, and everything like that too. I definitely got hold of like the KMD stuff, and like I said before, it's not really in my oh my god, I have to listen to it and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can see like the genius there, and there've been plenty of hip hop groups where it's like, well, rappers that started off in groups where they were still trying to find themselves, quote unquote. Grand Puba, Matt. People always want to say, "Oh, Brand Nubian was the first time they heard that Brand Nubian was his first group." That's not his first group. He had a group called Masters of Ceremony, which I feel like that '87 album. I think it's called like Dynamite.
Mhm.
Very underrated, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Especially at that time, mixing reggae and then
Yeah,
jazz stuff like that, especially for '87,
yeah,
was very underrated too. And that song was so big, that sexy song. I remember it on an episode of A Different World
uh-huh.
and stuff like that too. The episode when Rudy came to see Denise and shit like that, and she and Dwayne were dancing to the song in the pit. I've always loved that scene, honestly, to be real with you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but back to the point, and yeah, like you said, with the Mr. Hood album, I'm I like some songs, but overall, it was just like they were still trying to find themselves, and it's kind of crazy too because I was actually doing my research on the Black Bastard album, and I always have to show this book, the Check the Technique Volume 2, where it talks about the making of the Black Bastards album.
Mhm.
And they were talking about the Mr. Hood album, and Dante Ross was saying how even he didn't like the album at first because, which we'll talk about that, because he felt like the sound was not really fully realized or some shit like
Oh
that. You know what I'm
Lord,
saying?
fuck that nigga. That he passed up on so many artists that could have been at Electro Records.
But think of all the artists that got screwed over in Electro Records
Right,
too.
and he just let like it's like when Brand New. Remember Brand Nubian had that beef with the label because they were doing like anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he just you know what I'm saying. Dante is just a fool. Like that old man. Something's wrong with him. Get my
funny.
name right, nigga. Fuck.
I remember you telling me he fucked your
Yeah,
name.
like I'm on the live and he's like saying my name wrong. You're like, oh, why you got that name? Why is your name Dante?
You ain't black.
Oh, geese ass nigga.
Funny. But yeah, like I'm not gonna fake the funk and act like I'm a KMD expert and whatnot too, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I do love MF Doom, and I do feel like there are some tracks on this album, especially on the first album, where you can definitely hear some of like the Doom influence. Because I feel like the second album, Black Bastards, that definitely had like a more hardcore edge to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to say death row syndrome, and so I don't want to say death row syndrome. But at the same time, too, it's a very stark difference between the first and the second, which we'll talk about that. So, for those who don't know who KMD stands. At first, it stood for causing much damage, but then they changed it to a positive cause in a much damaged society. It consists of Originally it consists of members Zevlov X, where that was MF Doom's original moniker, and DJ Sub Rock and Jade One. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you guys, MF Doom. Well, I'm gonna call him Zev Love, Zev in this review and stuff like that. Of course, you guys know that Zev was born in the UK and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So his family moved over to like the New York and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? At first, they were living in Manhattan, but then they relocated to Long Beach and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And they were originally him and his brother Sub Rock were originally a graffiti crew, and they would also do breakdance at the same time too. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Onyx actually replaced Jade One because Jade One wanted to finish high school and stuff like that too. And another famous rapper was living around the area, and he goes by the name of MC Search. And they met MC Search like around '85, and they kept in contact with him. And then once Search, he got the deal with like Def Jam when he was with Third Base and stuff like that too. He invited him for the song "The Gas Face" on the Cactus album, which we talked about that album a couple months ago. I
Yes.
love that album. To me, that is a hip hop classic. I don't give a fuck what no one say. I know people want to be like, oh, well, they white MCs,
So
yada yada.
what?
I don't give a fuck.
So was Beastie Boys.
Right.
So
Yeah. 'Cause you got to remember at that time, you know, there were people were looking at them kind of like a joke because the Beastie Boys had left Def Jam, and then here comes like third base and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And then
they
people
did.
say, oh, they were just the Beastie Boys replacement for like the white rappers and
They,
stuff.
you know what it is? They looked at Search because he had the high top fade like kid, and he was a dancer, and they didn't like that.
Right. Right. I believe it. I mean, Vanilla Ice dance and shit, but he
Right,
he was the best rapper
right,
compared
and
to
he
Kurt.
was biting off a hammer. So
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And ironically, it's funny too because we all know Vanilla Ice and
hmm
Third Base. They had their issues
right,
and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So the Gas Face, that was a very dope song. You know what I'm saying? And so they were working on this record right here. You know what I'm saying? And so originally they didn't want to get a record label, a record deal. They pretty much wanted to stay independent or under like the Third Base management. But they signed to Elektra Records. They offered them a great deal because Dante Ross, he liked what he heard and everything like that too. So he really wanted like to promote the group and everything like that too. So like I said before, like when they were working on this album, they were pretty much didn't want to do what a lot of people were doing at that time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is when it was definitely sampling like a lot of old children's shows, you know what I'm saying, like Sesame Street, which again, the stepping stone to a lot of classic MF Doom, like the traditional MF Doom sound, which
hmm
that's why I call the Mr. Hood album like the I feel like the Mr. Hood was more MF Doom, while Black Bastards was more sub rock, if that makes sense.
mm
Yeah, because I feel like Sub Rock was catching a lot of bodies and he was standing out on a lot of tracks on Black Bastards. But I say MF Doom, he shined on a lot of tracks on Mr. Hood. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, too, they were still trying to find their style and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
you gotta also remember, around this time, they were even testifying before the U.S. Congress to support the National Voter Registration Act on behalf of Rock the Vote. And there's actually a YouTube video where they're actually in that Senate and stuff like that too. I forgot the YouTube user, but if you guys type in KMD U.S. Senate, it will be like the first or second video to pop up. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you should know. And we're going to talk about the Mr. Hood album. So this album came out May 14, 1991 on Elektra Records, like I mentioned, and consists of producers MC, well, Third Base, executive producers KMD, John Gamble, Dante Ross, and GB Danges. And you can also say like the stimulated dummies. You know what I'm saying? Because John Gamble and GB were known as stimulated dummies and stuff like that too. So, and the only guest appearance on this album were Brand Nubian, which, of course, label mates and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
makes sense. All right. So yeah, I think we talked about the gist of everything. So let's get started with the first track. This album has 18 songs, and the first track is called Mr. Hood at Piocales Jewelry slash Crackpot. This was an interesting way to start off the album and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? And well, let me say the album is pretty much a concept album. About this guy named Mr. Hood and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And he just goes through all kinds of shit. And so with the beginning of this album, he's in the jewelry store and he sees like Zev Love X. You know what I'm saying? Arguing with the place's owner because of the fact that the dude did not want to take the bracelet to pawn and shit like that too. Which pawn shops, I've always hated pawn shops. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be fucking real, especially when you try to pawn something and they act like, oh, well, this is worthless and shit. I was like, bitch, this is not no fucking worthless shit, but that's no story. Now I've had bad. The only time I really go to pawn shops is when I want to just buy a TV, or if I just want to like see what games they got and stuff like that. I don't pawn shit no more, to be real with you,
That's good.
because they be trying to. You said what?
That's good.
Yeah. And so, but then when he starts rapping, he starts actually talking about drug dealing and whatnot too. So it just kind of like that's why I guess where the crack pot comes in, which It's kind of weird though, you know what I'm saying? How it just jumped into that, but to each his own. So when it comes to the song by itself, it definitely has a strong De La Soul feel to it, especially like De La Soul is dead. You know what I'm saying? With that stripped down production, bass heavy kind of ordeal and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? This was okay. I don't know if I would have started the song off with this track right here, but it was a very interesting way to start off. You know what I'm saying?
Like the beat, and you got like Mr. I guess that's Mr. Hood that's talking in the clip or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the whole shit just remind me of De La. I'm like, they even got their own character. You know,
Yeah, I feel you on that. All right. Second track we got is "Who Me" with an answer from Dr. Burt. Um, yeah, this one right here was another interesting track right here too. You know what I'm saying? So this uses an Isley Brothers sample called "I Turned You On," which also they also squeeze in a little Sesame Street sample too. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much, the lyrics deal with like Zev Love kind of criticizing the Sambo caricature, which we'll talk more about that in the next album. And pretty much just talking about what is like, it's pretty much like a joke, like why do we have to be talked about just as a race and be described as a race and whatnot too, you know what I'm saying? I got what he was trying to do with this song. I feel like it was again another okay track right here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I like the beat. It was quirky. You know, the pianos on it, and you know, Zed Love X saying, you know, robbed of a culture. True indeed, I bear witness, and robbing him of his mental fitness. Like I said, like they barely played the video, so it's like you have to catch it when you can catch it because it wasn't in heavy rotation like that.
Definitely. All right, next song we got is Boogeyman and whatnot. This song right here was pretty dope. This is probably one of the probably the first song I can just say is great when it comes to this album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much like an Onyx solo track, and he did his thing on this one. I felt like he did his thing. It's not like anything to brag home about, but I felt like it was a nice effort.
I like the beat. That's about it.
I feel you. Yeah, man. All right. Next track we got is Mr. Hood meets Onyx. Um, when it comes to this track right here, it's pretty much like another kind of skit where Mr. Hood and you have like Onyx and Zev, you know what I'm saying, just trying to say what's going on and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this skit I didn't really care for. It's just like them trying to introduce Mr. Hood to the posse. It's like everybody just hanging out and stuff like that. I didn't really care for the skit.
Right. There's nothing to write home about. Just a bunch of niggas talking, and you know,
Right. Next track we got is Sub Rock's Mission. One of the most illest songs ever in this album, in my personal opinion, and stuff like that too. Like this is definitely a Sub Rock solo. Zev Love is pretty much doing like ad libs and just coming in the second verse. Um, like I said Sub Rock definitely caught more bodies in the second album, but I still feel like this song right here was a good effort from him. Oh shit.
I like the beat.
Yeah, that beat is fire though.
Yeah,
All right, next song is Hum Rush. One of my favorite tracks on this album, believe it or not, very unorthodox. Again, you have Bert and Ernie in the intro and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? It, I like the line when Zev says, "With my boys to aid me, so we'll play if you pay me some. Beats sound fickle, rented Jeep sounds sickening. To those with no soul, as I roll with my big grin, bugger boy, toot on your own horn." And shit like that too. Like I said, very unorthodox and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So braggadocio, and I like how they're humming throughout the song. So this one was pretty cool track. This is definitely an MF Doom track. I'm gonna be real with you.
The beat was fire. I clutched this mic to touch like an entire stadium. I like the beat.
I feel you on that. Yeah, that beat is fire.
Yeah.
That definitely is fire and shit like that. So next song is Figure of Speech. Um, very dope track on this album. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much just talking about because at this time hip hop was being attacked and everything like that too. Because this was '91. Like Two Live Crew were being attacked and stuff like that just for having pussies and asses on their album cover and shit. NWA dropped the Niggas for Life album, which that's my favorite NWA album. I know a lot of people say Straight Outta Compton, which I'm not dissing Straight Outta Compton, but Niggas for Life, they were just on some other shit. You know what I'm
Both of them
saying?
are great albums. I like both of them.
They're both hell. Let's mention the EP 100 Miles and Running. To me, the greatest hip hop EP ever. I'm gonna be real with you. That and Ice Cube's Kill That One. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like both of them EPs, it definitely set the barrier high and stuff. Because EPs back at that time, it was just like people just throw remixes, 12 inches and stuff like that, where they actually had like exclusive songs. And even at the height of beef and everything like that too, they were still dropping dope music.
Yo, we've never done an EP like countdown.
Yes, we
best
did.
EPs all time.
I could have sworn we did.
You did?
Yeah, I'll double check. Okay. But hell, if you want to talk about the NWA family, Above the Law's Vocally Pimpin' album, that might be some of the first G-Funk and stuff like that people have ever heard and shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that EP alone don't get its just due. But anyway, but yeah, so this was like saying how, how can y'all attack us for talking about our life and stuff like that, but at the same time it's just like you try to ban and try to whitewash what we say, if that makes sense. So like again, this was a pretty cool song, and I feel like Zev Love definitely did his thing on this one.
I like the beat. You see a pattern here.
a lot of beats that
I don't really have shit to quote from this album. I don't like this with the shit I didn't care for the shit they were saying here.
And again, that's cool because this is not like an easy album to really like. And even I have to say that too, because these MF Doom fans and shit like. Well, I'm gonna be saying this: the Mad Villain fans. That's what I want to say.
They appreciate it now, but just because you appreciate it many decades later, don't mean it's good.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not gonna call this album a classic, and you guys know I don't like when. And you guys know, even though I prefer the Black Bastards album and stuff like that too, just because the unreleased hip hop album that's automatically a classic for people, I would still not call Black Bastards a classic album. I'm just keeping the buck too. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean it's a bad album.
Right.
I just like if it would have maybe came out in '93 and '94 and stuff like that, it might be like fared better, but I feel like people like look at it and see that that's like diehard MF Doom fans will love that.
When we talk about that album, there's two albums that come to mind with the production. When you just said 93, 94, there's two rap albums that come to mind that sound like it was inspired by those two albums.
And which are?
I'm gonna wait till we talk about it.
Okay, that's cool.
But we both of those albums we did a review on already.
Okay, got you. All right, so we said our thoughts on Figure of Speech. You said you like the beat.
Yes.
All right, track number 8, Banana Peel Blues. Another weird, unorthodox song right here. You know what I'm saying? Just definitely a bluesy track, but at the same time, what's the name? Zev Love is doing a spoken word about the black man and everything like that. To how black man is God You know what I'm saying? How the original man is black. You know, the shit like that. You know, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I respect it. I don't know if I would have gave it that beat though. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
again, I felt like it was a nice experimental track.
And what's up with the title, Banana Peel Blues? What is that? What is that in reference to?
I have no idea. I thought it was some Harry Belafonte kind of shit. I don't know.
Uh,
Come, Mr. Taliban, Taliban, banana.
Lord.
Oh God.
I didn't care for the song, yo. I didn't know what the hell he was saying. The title of the track I didn't care for. Like, no.
They're trying to be like Brand Nubian with this one.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, I was like, nah, nah. Like, I love KMD, but I'm just like, nah, I don't know about this one.
No.
All right, next track, Nitty Gritty. This is actually my favorite track on this album. To be real with
Same,
you,
same.
really,
Yep. Because
wow,
it actually making sense on this song.
wow.
You know, Brand New Being not gonna do no silly shit. Like they're gonna actually, it's gonna be some
Yeah,
righteous shit they doing.
shit. So that and Lord Jamal talking about nah, leave that De La Soul shit out of here. We're gonna do some
Right?
real rap.
Mhm.
Oh shit. And so pretty much when it came to this track, they pretty much did this track as a way because of how um the label was promoting this album as like a lighthearted, fun album and shit like that too. And they wanted to really prove that they can really get down with brothers, if that makes sense too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, this one was pretty dope, but this was a nice little posse cut. I mean, in the KMD side of things, I say Zev Love had the best verse. But on the Brand Nubian side of things, I say Grand Puba had the best
Oh
verse.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this was we talked about this. I think it was yesterday
Mhm.
or the day before yesterday.
Mhm.
Puba's had that unorthodox style where he would just like emphasize. Oh, it was the Beanie Siegel review.
Right.
Emphasize certain words and shit like that too, and his flow was just so crystal clear. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, Puba man, like I don't know. It's like Puba. I go back and forth these days if it's like Puba or Sadat X and
Mhm.
shit like that. That's my favorites and shit. So I gotta. I think now these days I'm kind of leaning more to Puba,
Yeah.
but at the same time I feel like Sadat has some more quotable lines. If that makes sense.
Right.
I like the line when Zev says another session from the infamous God Squad. See, we all peas in the same pod. God on and upright and downright knit with rod held up tight because I'm sick with nitwit witnesses knocking at my door, preaching the Lord to change your life around. I'm at like, damn, like,
Hmm.
come on, man, like shit. But yeah, this one's a banger. I like this one.
This joint should have been a single.
It should have
Definitely.
been.
It had the beat was fire. It was jazzy. You got the horns on it. You got like a young Brand Nubian because they sounded young on this.
Oh yeah,
And Pooba in his verse, he's talking about how you know if females don't want to have guys approach them and think about sex all day, then they should cover up. You know what I'm saying? And I love his that part of the verse. He said, put on some clothes on that behind, and maybe brothers wouldn't think skins all the time, which is what exactly was still going on now. When you look on social
right,
media at these chicks that got OnlyFans and they thirst trapping on the gram, what you expect when a guy run up in your DM? He ain't trying to take you out on a date. He trying to fuck you.
right, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? And niggas is not trying to pay for pussy. So it's like they get angry and they want respect, but you got an OnlyFans. Like what guy's gonna look at you like you wifey?
You got an OnlyFans and you work at Chick-fil-A. What the fuck do you expect?
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And they want money in their cash app, but you think a nigga gonna really try to make a family with you?
talk about. Do you think I'm sexy? Then donate some money to see some more of me.
Mhm. Yeah. This joint was banging. This should have been a single.
Oh God. Anyway, Track number 10, Trial and Error. I didn't really care for this track. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't care for this one.
I like the beat.
Yeah, why did I think you were gonna say that?
Yeah. Man.
I was like, yeah,
man.
Trial.
I really
I
wanted
was
to
like,
like this album. I don't
Yeah.
even think they knew what the hell they were saying on this album. It's all over the place. I'm like, this is very De La.
Mm.
yo, I can't wait till we talk about Digable Planer's Reaching album because I
Oh
really want to hear
man,
your thoughts.
you already know how I feel about that album. Man, shit. I can't go
I
too hard
love
on
that
that the way
album.
cause I told you what's his name Doodle, is it Doodlebug? Doodlebug, he's in the same group chat that I'm in because he's like a big sports head. You know what I'm saying? I would love for him to get on there so we could like have him review it with us. But I'm like that album went over my head too. Again, the beats on there were fire, but I don't know what the fuck they were saying.
We beat the Kakalaks hit from the back.
You know, I feel like niggas was trying to be too abstract at that time. It's like everybody can't be
Yo,
Q-Tip. There's only one Q-Tip.
if the Cosby Show kids were rappers and shit,
Oh wow. Oh
You
lord.
know,
if Theo
boy.
was a rapper,
Oh god.
but like I said, and that's why I prefer Blowout Comb because
Yeah,
Blowout Comb, I'm like, yeah, I can get with this shit.
Blowout Comb was their stakes is high.
Mm.
That was their
Ah,
stakes is high album.
okay. I mean,
You know what I'm
I
saying? I
don't.
mean, they ain't put out shit after that, but that album was the album that they should have dropped in the beginning.
I would say that's their Balloon Mind State. To be real with
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Balloon Monster was great.
yeah. But yeah, man, like I said, I love Reach. I love Nickel Bags and stuff like
Mhm.
that too. But you can tell they were influenced a lot by Low End Theory.
It
Like,
was. And
so yeah,
see, we didn't have the internet, so it was like if we had Google back in '92, I would have been able to Google like what the fuck is a swoon unit, what is a nickel, you know what I mean? We didn't have all that, so it's like I'm like listening to this shit like what the fuck are they talking about?
we beat the Kakalak.
Yeah,
Shit. Oh my god, but yeah, man. But where we at? Where we at? Hard with no hole. That's the next track and shit like that. So this is an interesting song right here too. It's not a song where you think it's not a song where you think it's talking about super hole some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they're not actually talking about a girl. It's talking about a farmer and his hoe, which a hoe is like I think a tool that they use like rakes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Salute,
not
Uncle Freezy. Salute.
you guys, I'm not a farmer too, but then he starts getting to more like and use it as a metaphor for like interracial relationships, right? Because most farmers are like white guys, and them using the term "hoe" is talking about like a girl. I'm probably fucking up. You guys should know it's an interesting song, but how can I put this?
Salute,
This is
salute. We
probably the
gotta we
most
gotta have we gotta have Reg on Uncle Freezy channel, yo. We gotta make that happen.
yes, sir. It's probably the most De La Soul. It kind of reminds me of De La Soul's "Keeping the Faith" from De La Soul is Dead. Which, if you think about that song, if you see that song on first glance, it's like, oh, this is a nice religious song. But they're talking about
Right,
gold diggers on that track. Just being real with you, they're
right.
talking about gold diggers.
Uh-huh.
So this is the most De La Soul off this album.
When I look at the title, it sounds like something Black Sheep would have did for their first album.
Oh yes.
Cause like Dress being so witty and clever with his lines, he would have made it into a song about hard with no hoe. It would have been like a sex song or something with him. You know,
He's a
but
pervert. That's why.
yeah, I like the beat. I like the beat. That's really about it.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, you were gonna say that. Um, next song. Where we at?
The
Okay, we
skit.
at the the haircuts. Man, what the fuck is this shit? Nigga? Who the fuck is this? Mr. Bean ass, Mr. Magoo ass motherfucker. I did not care for this skit. Nah.
So I get so Mr. Hood went to a barbershop and like he's asking them, like they asking him like what cut do you want? Do you want to fade? And then Mr. Hood is asking them like where you from, and I'm like I don't feel like the skit was needed though. Like it was unnecessary for this album.
It didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it leads into the next track, 808 Man, which I didn't care for this track like that. To be real with you, I felt it was okay. I like the beat though.
Nope, I didn't like it.
Well, did you like did you like the beat?
Nope.
Oh wow! Oh, that's a surprise.
No, I didn't like it at all. Yeah.
But the concept was another interesting one because they're talking about 808 Man. It's supposed to represent like the Roland TR 808. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, a lot of cats was using that. I want to say, what's his name? I want to say Seji used that. I want to say, but I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. But they described the Roland as like a Goliath looking motherfucker who wants to beat up KMD. Interesting concept, but it wasn't executed right. To be real with you,
I want to see Kanye West do a version of this. Just because he had an album called 808s and Heartbreak, and he used a lot of 808s, so I would like to see Kanye do this over.
Right. Interesting. I mean, Kanye does fuck with MF Doom, so you never know.
Right.
Next track is "Some Boy Who Cried Wolf." I didn't care for this track.
Yeah, didn't like it.
Yeah. Track number 15, Peach Fuzz. Okay. This is I like this song, and this was the first single.
Right.
I didn't even mention the singles. I'm tripping. I'm the single Peach Fuzz, Who Me, and Nitty Gritty. And this is the song that Elektra Records wanted to promote when it comes to KMD. Lighthearted fun, talking about racism, being all lighthearted and shit. Like I said,
that should never be a lighthearted topic.
Exactly. See, it's that Dante Ross shit.
Yeah.
It's your boy Dante.
Yep. Unfortunately.
It's like, let's talk about the Holocaust. Let's all make a musical out of it.
Let's make it a comedy. What part of now if black people did that, we would be wrong for talking about the Holocaust.
Right. Let's make Anne Frank fall in love with a nigga, for God's sakes.
Right. That was the problem with this album because it was too lighthearted.
Exactly. Next song is "Preacher Pork Chop." What the fuck is? No, I didn't like it. It's Sub Rock pretends to be like a preacher.
No.
First of all, Pork Chop is the name of the dog from Doug. First of all. Second of all, this is like y'all remember the Flip Wilson show? Y'all remember when he had that church sketch called "The Devil Made Me Do It"?
Yeah.
This is like a poor man's version of it, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, but I like the beat though. I like the beat.
No.
No. I like the beat for Peach Fuzz. Excuse me, not the beat. This beat.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I did not like this.
All right. Next song is "So Flexin'." You know what I'm saying? When I first heard this song and shit like that, it sounded like it was like a skit. Like I feel like it kind of ran a bit too long and stuff like that too. But it was like an actual song, and yeah, I didn't care for this one right here.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Right. And the last song is "Gas Face Refill." You know what I'm saying? Which then is like a sequel to the Gas Face song from Third Base. You know what I'm saying? But there's only one problem. Third Base is not on this song.
Right.
Like that, So yeah, it's kind of like it was still an okay song, but it was kind of like a waste of time. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's decent, I guess.
How do you have a sequel for a song that belongs to another artist and the artist is not on that song? You know what I'm saying? That's like if somebody if let's say Saigon said, "Oh, I'm gonna do Incarcerated Scarface's Part 2, but there's no Raekwon on it." How do you do that without Raekwon? And it's his song.
Didn't
You know what I'm saying?
Quavo and Takeoff redo
Uh,
Raekwon's album and shit like that called Cuban Links and shit? They renamed it as a
I'm surprised they even get. They had to get that blessing from Raekwon. I'm surprised he even gave them the blessing to do that.
I'm surprised too.
And they recreated the album cover. Like, what are you all doing? What?
It's like, what kind of world are we living in at this
Right?
moment?
It's like with like a multiverse or something.
WandaVision. All right. So overall, this is an interesting experiment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say it's the worst thing since Soldier Boy's career.
Oh
But at,
God.
the, but at the same time, too, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If you're expecting to see what MF Doom sounded like before he actually became an MF Doom, this is the album for you, definitely. Because, like I said before, this is more MF Doom's album where he was still showing a lot of songs and shit like that, too. But at the same time, I feel like the album was very inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? It was two native tongues
Yeah.
and shit like that too. And this is what I mentioned to you before. Like the East Coast, they were definitely on a native tongue shit
Mhm.
and stuff like that too. How everybody wanted to be like wearing dashikis and beads and stuff like that, and having national extensions, all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everybody wanted to do all that shit, but then when the Chronic came out, everybody wants to be a gangster bitch and shit like that. everybody wanted, everybody wanted to be like a boss, and
Yeah.
so. And mind you, they were still like I think they were still practicing that 5% at that time too. So that should also tell you something, even though it kind of changed the game with the next album, which we'll talk about that. So I'm gonna give this album a 3 out of 5.
I did not like this album. Maybe about like two songs. The brand new me song should have been a single. Peach Fuzz was okay. I don't think that should have been the first single though. Like to get people's attention. I blame the label for that though. That's really about it. Like most of the beats were dope, but it just sounded very De La to me. Like it was very De La-ish. They're not De La. Half of the time I don't even know what the hell they were saying on a lot of the songs. And but
Oh,
you know what though? Like if I was at a record store and I saw this album for like $10, I would still buy it because it is part of MF Doom's legacy. But I would not play it at all. I probably would just keep it sealed up forever
damn.
because I just don't. Again, there was no hype behind KMD when they first came out. You know what I'm saying? There was no hype for them. There was little promotion by the label. I blame Dante for that. You know, but because of the reinvention of Zed Love to Zed Love X to MF Doom, a lot the fans now appreciate this album, and that's cool. But that don't mean the album was great. So for me, I'm giving it 2 mics.
Definitely. And before we go to Black Bass, I'm gonna get some water right quick. My throat's dry. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Kristen, you still in here? The second album, I like Black Bastard better than the first one. Yeah. Second one, I don't know why the second one was shelved. Again, this is the label. The label shelving the album, and
Oh, we'll talk about the second one
But
right
then
now.
that was over the artwork or something like that.
Oh, it's a story with that. Give me one
Yeah,
second.
I remember that because when they finally released it to like the internet, like I remember downloading it from my iPod. That was like what, like maybe I want to say like 2012, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but
No, I'm not saying yeah, like I'm
the download for it, like they ripped it to the internet, but it wasn't mixed properly. So it was like a lot of tracks were like had the static or whatever.
right.
Yeah, so like I know like now they re-released it like on vinyl and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Even though it's still re-released, man, it's so hard to come by these days and shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's like it's out of print on like a lot of websites.
Right. Hell, I try to get this album. They still try to sell it out for like $70 and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
bitch, please.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's. This is gonna be a long story, so y'all brace yourselves for this one. So Black Bastard. So this album was supposed to came out in 1994, but in between Mr. Hood and that time, it was a very happy yet traumatic time, which we'll talk about that in a minute. So after the release of the Mr. Hood album, they actually started touring with its third bass. And it's kind of crazy because that was, I think, around the same time. I think 1 year later, 92, third base would break up and some shit like that too. Because they had already dropped the Dialect of Dialect album, which is another
Yeah,
classic album. I would call that a classic album. I don't give a fuck what no one say.
definitely. That's my
Yeah.
favorite one. That's my favorite one from them.
Yeah, I go back and forth, bro. I feel like lyrically, that they stepped the pen game up lyrically with that one on some real
Yeah.
shit. Um, they were dissing a lot of cats on that album, but we'll talk
Mhm.
about it today. Um, but yeah, so they actually met Curious, the Constipated Monkey, which you guys should know. He dropped his out an album back in like '94. He's definitely a close friend when it comes to MF Doom.
Right.
And when it came to this album, they would definitely were trying to like find the more creative muse with this album. And pretty much, they call this album like Black Bastards, which because like I said, they were trying to make fun of the whole Sambo caricature, which you guys can see that right here as we can see he's being hanged up and shit like that too. Of course, with the whole hangman. That used to be my game back in the day, hangman and
Amen.
shit. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely liked it. And yeah, Sub Rock, he had more confidence. He started rhyming a bit more. And with hip hop at that time transitioning, hip hop was starting to get more radical. I don't want to say angry. I want to say radical because this was what the Public Enemies, the Brand Nubians, Tribe Called Quest. Even though they weren't the most radical and stuff like that, they were still cutting edge at that time too. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely wanted to do something that fit the time to have more creative control. But tragically, on April 23rd, 1993, Subrock was killed after a car hit him on the expressway, and he was only 19 years old. So
Mhm.
rest in peace, Subrock.
But it's gonna be anniversary coming up for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
interesting. And yeah, thank you, Christian, for requesting this one. So Doom, he was affected because they were almost finished with the album, and Doom was affected by it, but he still said he would have finished the album. And there was a story that when Subwalk passed away in his funeral, Doom he had the boombox with the Black Bastards album. He played it next to the casket
Oh
and
wow.
everything like that too. Like literally play the album in his funeral
That's
and
crazy.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's some deep ass fucking shit. Um, well, you said, Christian, you said Cage, the rapper, was the last person to talk to Subrock. I never knew that. Wow. Yeah, man. Hey, yo, Christian, when we talk about the illegal, the youngsters album next week and shit like that, yeah, you can always come on, man. You can
Right.
always come on. I'll let you know the time and everything after this review is over, because you have a lot of knowledge and shit. Because some of the shit I never even knew about. But anyway, so 1994 came, and they dropped the single. What's the single? What a Nigga Know. You know what I'm saying? Which they actually done a video for that, but they never released a video at that time. because on one day in 1994, Zev Love had a meeting with the high executives at Elektra, which one the high was Terry Rossi, and she was just like how the cover was bad, the cover was offensive, and she didn't really want to put her marketing behind that album with an offensive cover.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, this was the era of the cop killer and everything like that too. This was also the time when Cool G Rep and DJ Polo, legendary "Live and Let Die" album,
Hmm.
was fucked up. They fucked up the marketing on that one. They didn't shelve it, but they took it out the shelves like early, like and stuff like that. And that's has been hard to come by. Even though they re-released it, like the Traffic re-released it, it's still kind of a hard to come by record and stuff like that too. You know,
Why they always fuck with our album covers? Nirvana
right?
came out with Nevermind with the little baby and his penis on the album cover. They let that shit slide.
Marilyn Manson did a lot of crazy shit too.
You know?
But yeah, man, it's funny. And so with Sub Rock passing away and Elektra Records shelving the album, this caused a lot of depression for MF Doom. So he left New York and he relocated to Georgia. So Curious, he was always checking up on him, and he believed that Doom should Zev should still be rapping. And in this particular portion, I am going to mention the MF Doom moniker, so just to let you guys know. And pretty much that's when he kind of influenced Doom. Well, damn it, he influenced Zev to do the MF Doom moniker
Mm.
and everything. So in between 1995 and 1999, he was dropping. Now MF Doom was dropping like some 12 inches, like
Mhm.
Dead Bent, Hey.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
dropping 12 inches too before the Operation Doomsday album came out. And the thing about it was that MF Doom still had the masters to the KMD album. And another reason why he went by the MF Doom moniker was so that he could actually release lost KMD material and whatnot too. But here's the catch though. The catch was that the MF Doom material was more popular than KMD material. So they were working on the album, which would become Operation Doomsday, which to me, that's one of the most influential independent. I'm not going to say independent, one of the most influential hip hop albums of all time. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I love Mad Villain, don't get me wrong, but to me, I'm always an Operation Doomsday nigga. I need to get the version with the original album cover because I think the 2012, I think 2011, 2012 with the because there's some controversy with the artwork, so they
Mhm.
have to release it and stuff like that too. But even though they actually got the rights back, and I think on MF Doom's own label, they re-released it with the original artworks. It's kind of crazy though, but you guys, it's better explained online because there was some legal issues with that shit too. So 1 year later in 2000, that's when Black Bastards was finally released. Like limited copies was released and shit like that too. It was released on Ready Rock Records, and pretty much the single that came out was "What Did Iggy Know," which that came out in '94, and "It Sounded Like a Rock" that came out in 1999. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just gonna talk about the OG version with the 13 tracks and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna talk about those versions. Even though there is one story I do have to say because you guys should also know that MF Grimm was pretty much like the visionary when it came to the Operation Doomsday album. And when it came to like those two, they had this song on the Black Bastards album called they had a remix of What a Nigga Know, which it's a little disclaimer with that. They actually did that track um years after the original version of that album was done. And the crazy thing about that was MF Grimm recorded the track and the next day he got shot, which paralyzed him and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which you guys should know he was paralyzed. To this day he's still paralyzed and stuff like that too. And I think I don't know if they actually squashed their beef before MF Doom passed away. I don't know if you guys know, y'all can leave that on the comments and stuff like that too. But yeah, man, like a lot of those samples that MF Doom used for Doomsday, it came from like Grimm's basement and stuff like that too. Which there were some legal issues after Operation Doomsday came out, and they had some legal issues because he felt like he should get more credit for the album. We've seen this before with Pete Rock and what's his name, the Tribe Called Quest, when he gave them the sample for Jazz We've Got, but Q-Tip actually made the beat to that, and Pete Rock on a special cut for that shit too. What's up, Eric? How you doing? And Pete Rock also wanted a special cut for that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And I know this is it's a long, complicated story, but just bear with me why I say this shit because when I think about this album, it's pretty much more Sub Rock's album and stuff like that too. And also too, it's just like it's the perfect link between Zevlov X and MF Doom, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's pretty much the whole complicated story with MF Doom, Black Bastards KMD. This was produced by KMD and Q4 and everything like that too. And like I mentioned to you before, we're just going to talk about a 13-track version of this album. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get this shit started. Track number 1 is Garbage Day 3. So yeah, so like I said, this one was actually Sub Rock's idea. He took like a lot of movie pieces for the 60s and mixed it all together. Again, something that the traditional MF Doom fans should know and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So definitely much more harder intro and shit like that too. So I fuck with this intro.
Yeah, I fuck with it. I love the beat for this. You know, definitely I enjoyed this more than the first song on Mr. Hood album.
Same. Yeah, I definitely feel like they were definitely catching bodies with this one so far and shit. Next song is Get You Now. You know what I'm saying? This one right here was pretty ill. You know what I'm saying? This was another ill track right here and shit. They were definitely on the more hardcore shit with this one. So very, very, very dope beat. Love it.
The beat was fire. I like this joint.
Definitely. Track number 3, What a Nigga Know. Oh man, this one right here, very dope track. If you guys recognize that sample, that's a Jody Watley's Looking for a New Love. Oh my god. Love that
Right.
record right there. Love that
I,
record.
I knew I was listening. I'm like, I know that the sample is familiar. I just couldn't put my finger on the song.
Yeah, man. I almost had a brain fart too, but then it was the melody and shit like that too, because with that Jody Watley song, that intro don't sound like the rest of the song, because the rest of the song had the horns and the synths and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, um, pretty much, you know, when it came to this song right here, this is definitely one of the songs that got them in trouble with the Electro Records A&R, because they pretty much felt like they preferred when they had a more lighthearted tone about race, but then now they were more radical and militant with this one. They didn't. It's like, oh, so now that they're militant, they didn't like the shit when they were militant, though, right? So, you know, y'all know how that shit goes. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Lashia made a dope quote and stuff like that. I got to give a shout out to her when we did a Steve Harvey review, and they were talking about we were talking about the Snoop Dogg and Puffy, well, excuse me, the sex trafficker and whatnot when they appeared on the show, and they were talking about how you can tell by that next season they were like, yeah, things are getting too real. They wanted to like lighthearted, make it more lighthearted and shit like that too. But yeah, that's what I have to say about What a Nigga Know.
Yeah, this was dope. I love the beat for this. The bass line. You know, you got Zed saying 1-2, sound off chumsy. Finna flip the script like round off summy. Yummy to the tooth, better to the tummy. Hell keeps that monkey shit constipated for me.
Woo!
This is definitely a way better single than Peach Fuzz and the other shit off of that first album.
Peach fuzz and whatever that shit is.
Yeah. The other shit.
Fuck. Oh shit. Next track is called "Sweet Premium Wine." So this is another interesting song too, because when I was reading the Check the Technique book, they were talking about how they were drinking a bit more and smoking weed a bit more, so they were doing like a lot more songs dedicated to like alcohol and drugs and stuff like that too. Dope song. This is definitely a song I would not have seen on the Mr. Hood album and shit
Uh,
like that too. So yeah,
yeah, this is fire. I like the beat for this. The bass line. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. All right, next song is Plumskins, Loose Hole, God and Cupid. Love this record right here. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. They have two versions of Plumskins on this album, which was pretty much just talking about women and shit. Both
Hey.
versions use the same samples that you guys should know from Eric B and Rakim songs and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not gonna say which samples y'all gonna have to find that out yourselves and stuff like that because y'all be surprised. But yeah, this version was pretty good. I kind of prefer the other version of this, which I'll talk about more about that one. But this version was pretty straight.
Yeah, I like this one. This version was jazzy. I really love the beat for this. It reminds me of like a lot of the songs from the '90s that had like jazz samples in it and stuff like that. And you know, Zev said at the corner store, signed lease for sale, plumskins, fruit cocktail. Only ones running to the corner, pale males, open all night. Them corner plums are stale. Fire.
Yeah, definitely a fire joint. Next track, "Smoking That Shit." One of my favorites off this album. This features Lord Sear, Curious, and Earthquake. You know what I'm saying? Just them, paying homage to, like smoking and everything like that too. It's like definitely a weed song, if that makes sense and shit. So I definitely loved Sub Rock and Curious definitely did their thing on this one. I love the line was Curious said, "I do the hip hop, the hippie dibby, Curious, the two fly magician never given. These niggas a piece of pie, cause yo my shit is fat, cause like my pockets, your girl's titties is flat." Like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I love that line right there, shit. So yeah, this was pretty ill.
Curious did his thing. I always liked his flow, and said they did their thing on this, and the beat was fire.
Yeah, the beat was definitely fire and shit. Track number 7, Contact Blitz. This is another song that was pretty much like an ode to like weed and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this one right here was pretty ill. I like this one too. This definitely had a more MF Doom lean to it. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? You can tell he was coming into his own with this song right here too. So yeah, this one was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's really jazzy. I love the saxophones on this one. The beat was fire. Yeah, this is like more his speed. You know what I'm saying? This was dope.
Right. Yes, sir. Next song we got is called Gimme. This was produced by Sub Rock and whatnot. This is a Sub Rock solo track. This is actually one of MF Doom's favorite tracks on the KMD repertoire, and this is actually one of my favorite tracks as well too. Sub Rock definitely ate this record right here. I love the line where he says, "Well, welcome me back like my man Carter. If not, I'll leave your flat bulk with nada. Cause I gotta keep my style flexing like Arabic. Give me elbow room. I'm crazily claustrophobic. Give me a do rag for my hair. I'll give you a 10-foot pole touching up your rear." I was like, yo, Sub is was definitely underrated and
Mhm.
whatnot too, you know. So this is a fire ass joint.
So yes, love the beat for that. Definitely had the MF Doom, early MF Doom on here, and maybe he already had that concept in his head at that time. And maybe it was he just needed to execute the concept. But yeah, this definitely reminds me of MF Doom.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you about that. All right, next song we got is the title track "Black Bastards." So this is probably another one of my favorite tracks on this album as well too. and it's pretty much just talking about the whole point of this whole album. You know what I'm saying? How they felt like the color issue, people were trying to make a big deal out of it. But then he starts talking about like white MCs, and one of the MCs he actually mentioned was a guy named Parker Lewis, which you guys should definitely know who he is. Yeah, he definitely. I think he's from the UK as well too, and he feels like he was definitely whack. He pretty much called him whack and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Which I have not really heard of. I'm not the biggest Parker Lewis fan like that, but I did hear a couple of his joints though. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope, but yeah, the beat definitely sounds like something that I would hear Cypress Hill on.
I'm thinking of the show Parker Lewis. Remember that show?
You said, oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I was thinking
Lewis
too.
can't lose.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is Parker Lewis? The show?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh man, this was good though. I like this is one of my favorite tracks. I love that part where like they sample like somebody saying I ain't black, I ain't white. I love the beat for this and Zed is saying well I'll be an AIDS sleaze if I had a skeezer after skeezer stacked up like ice
Hmm,
cubes in my freezer. I'd rather live to be an old geezer, OE squeezer. Anytime I need a stress easer. Love that man. He killed his track.
definitely. All right. Next track is "It Sounded Like a Rock." Um, Again, another very dope track, which is actually one of my favorites on this album as well too. You know what I'm saying? Another Sub Rock solo track where he definitely does his thing on this one and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he killed this track. MF Doom definitely slides in some ad libs here and there too, so not bad.
This was dope. Definitely had a dope beat for this, and yeah, they killed it.
Yes, sir. All right. Next song we got is Plumskins. Oh no, I don't believe it. This is actually my favorite Plumskins compared to the first one. And this one definitely has another recognizable sample that was also used also used by Emma Eric B and Rakim and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All I'm going to say about that track is Large Professor. That's all I'm
Mm,
going to say on that track right there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
This one was definitely another dope track. I love the more wordplay with this one. Comparing the fruit to the women. So yeah, this was another clever track.
Yeah, like I said, like I like both versions. This was definitely dope. So
Yes, sir. All right. Next track, Constipated Monkey. This was featured Onyx and Sub Rock and Zev Love X. You know what I'm saying? And there's actually a remix that has featured Curious and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like you can hear on the re-release version. This one was pretty dope too. I love this one. Honestly, this was actually the last song MF Doom recorded for this album as well too. So yeah,
this is where Curious got the name for his album.
yep,
Chance to Pay the Monkey. That's a classic. The
yeah, I
beat for
gotta
this
get
was
that
dope.
album.
Yeah, I never got that. It's severely underrated. You know, but yeah, this joint was fire.
Definitely. And the last song is called "Fuck What You Had." This is actually a solo track with Homeboys that features his Homeboys Hard to Obtain and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? He just want to put them on and everything like that too. This one was pretty cool. It was a nice way to end off this album and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So nice that we had Sub Rock on the last verse, which I feel like he definitely killed it. So yeah, this was definitely a dope track.
This is dope. Definitely Hard to Obtain. They were another underground group that was severely slept on, and I love the beat for this. And you got I believe his name is Taste. Taste was
Yeah,
on this joint, and he said, "We got the funk, and don't forget it. Taste the terror in your era, so check it. Gets more wrecked than Larry Davis undetected. Or past the Phillies, so a nigga can get red. By the way, some shit can fuck with the head." Love this verse.
Definitely. I love this verse too. All right, and overall, this is a much better album in my opinion when it came to KMD. Dare I say this is actually my favorite album they came out with. And no, this is just not me just saying that because it's a shoved album. This is literally just a great album. You know, I definitely felt like the chemistry was definitely more tuned. They got more creative control with this one and shit like that too. The production definitely fit around the mid '90s time and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Just that classic '93, '94 production and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna give this album a strong 4.5 out of 5.
I think hearing this album and at the time, during the time when it was made, recorded, I think it's the production sounds a lot like Enter the Stage in a good way.
Ooh,
Enter the Stage meets Black Sheep Nonfiction, you know,
ooh,
and I love the production. The production was hard with this one. They didn't come with no gimmicks. It wasn't lighthearted. You know, it's almost like they took a step back and they listened to the first one and be like, yo, well, we can't do what the label wants us to do. We gotta do our own music. And I think it showed on this album, and they sounded more focused. The songs, the lyrics sounded more focused on this album. You know, again, it's a shame that Elektra didn't promote it because of the album cover or whatever. But this to me is their best album. I
I
prefer this
agree.
over the first one. I'm gonna give it some solid 4 mics, and it was just dope. It's just a dope boom bap album. This is the album that I wanted from them the first time, and I felt like they were mimicking De La Soul on the first album, but this one sounds more of KMD, and I think it's highly underrated.
Definitely.
And I
Def
love tracks like What a Nigga Know, Plum Skins, Fuck with Your Head. Constipated Monkey was dope. That's the all around dope album.
yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. I'm gonna actually end this off right here to be real with you and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I gotta get up early for a funeral and get ready for that too. So,
Yeah.
um, so Sunday, I got the schedule for next week. So Sunday we got the top 100 rock albums, part one at 4 p.m. and shit like that too. So yeah, Monday we're gonna do the Queen with the jazz album at 11 p.m. Then Wednesday we got a double feature again. We got Rock Marciano with the Marciology album at 7 p.m. And we got Beanie Siegel with the Broad Street Bully album at midnight.
I gotta tell Gmo for that one. Hopefully he's
Marciano,
available.
for which one?
The Rock Mossy one he wants to talk about.
Oh, okay, bet.
Hopefully he's
All right.
available. I hope there's no Knicks game on Wednesday. So
Just let me know ahead of time. I don't mind
yeah,
rescheduling.
all right.
Yeah. Then Thursday we got another Christian request. Illegals, Untold Truth, and the Youngsters I'll Make You Famous. I guess we're gonna do a Kid Rappers thing.
Ooh,
Yeah. I
Kristen
never
cooking
heard
the heat, yo.
yeah, I never heard the illegal album. I never heard that album
I heard
before.
the legal album. What's the other one? I'll Make You Famous. I haven't heard that in years from the youngsters.
Yeah, let me check if I have that album because I know
Yeah,
I got some
I don't
youngsters
got that
albums.
one. I only bought No Mercy, and I had the Aftermath on cassette back in there.
Hold on, wait a minute. Where my youngsters album at? Hold on. Fuck it, I'll find that shit later. It's too late for that shit. And then next Saturday we're gonna do the Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album at 6 p.m.
Oh boy, uh, the
Wow.
double album.
27 songs.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
And she even covered Dolly part. She did a Beatles cover and a Dolly Parton cover and
yeah,
shit.
with Jolene. Yeah,
No.
Yo, black people love that. That's the only country song black people love, Joey.
yeah. Why is that?
Every black woman loves them some Jolene and
Nobody
shit.
likes Kenny Rogers. Y'all don't like the Gambler?
Right, for real.
Classic song,
Yeah, y'all don't like Johnny Cash. Hold up.
right? Willie Nelson? No Willie Nelson? No?
Oh, I forgot it. It's not no Darius Rucker and shit.
Hey, I'm saying. On the Road Again? That's a classic country song.
On the road again. Yeehaw. What about my Glenn Campbell fans and shit?
Yeah. Oh, you're reaching there.
Okay, I guess I'm going with that one. All right. Y'all got anything to say before we head out and shit?
WrestleMania all weekend. That's what I'm focused on. WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Let's go, Cody.
He's not. He said he's not focused on no J. Cole. He focused on WrestleMania.
Yes. WrestleMania. That's what it's about. Let's go.
Yes.
Shit. Anything else to say, Mike, before we head out?
WrestleMania. Same as Tribe. WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. That's
Yeah.
talk of the time and shit.
Yes. Hopefully it's a good one.
For real.
Yeah, Eric, 27 songs.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Beyonce, I better like half these songs, Beyonce. That's all I'm gonna say.
I ain't bullshitting for no beehive. If it's whack, we gonna say it's whack. Okay.
Other than that, I hope y'all have a good night, and I'm gonna see you guys on Sunday afternoon. Y'all be safe. Peace.
All right. Peace, Mike.
Peace. Peace, y'all.